Hi, welcome back to the Autistic Voice Project. I'm Matt Lowry from Kentucky,
I'm Erin Findley from California.
and today's sponsor is Dino Nuggies.
Dino Nuggies. Yes, please sponsor us. Um,
Yeah, yeah, we're here for you, Tyson.
that's
You're
right.
always here for us.
That's right.
Because nothing's more autistic than having processed food that tastes exactly the same every single time, with no surprises ever, because we don't like change, we don't like surprises. We just want something that is palatable to get into our meat bodies to fuel us for another day.
And fun dinosaur shapes.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. Have you seen the meme about having a mac and cheese in a wine goblet with a Dino Nuggie on the side, and like if
I
you're
haven't.
if you're not this classy, we can't be friends.
I love it. I love
Because
it.
yeah, because
Nice.
anybody, and again, they also make vegan nuggies if that is
If
your
you're not a
speed.
meat person for your meat
Exactly.
body.
Yep. Although to be fair, dino nuggies are barely legally classified as meat, but still they maintain our meat bodies for yet another day.
It's true.
And
It's
and
true.
we tend to get into the routines, which is the
Ah,
topic of today: routines, habits, and systems.
that's right.
Because this is a big thing about scaffolding and having living an autistic life, identifying yourself as having autistic needs, and how you get through the world. Because
Right.
a long time ago, I talked about this book called Atomic Habits, and
Uh,
how it says, yes, you just need to brush your teeth every day, and you need to go out and walk 10 miles. And if you do it enough, sooner or later, your brain will, you know, say, oh, yes, this is the thing, and you'll do it on autopilot. But
that
so
doesn't
so
tend to happen a whole lot.
that's the thing, because my I do have a morning routine in that I will get up usually around 9 o'clock, and then I will immediately go into the kitchen. I will turn on the coffee maker. I will put the coffee in the coffee maker. Joffrey's coffee, in case you're asking or sponsoring. Give me go, give me coffee. I will go in and I will set the coffee maker. If I'm going to make some focaccia bread for breakfast, I'll turn on the oven. In that time, I will walk past the washer and dryer, throw my old clothes in the washer, unless it's full, in which case I need to work on that. And then I will go take a shower. And then when I'm done with the shower, the coffee will be done brewing, the oven will be done preheating. I'll throw the focaccia bread in. I will drink some coffee while I'm waiting for the focaccia bread. I will eat the focaccia bread. Then I will do email, and I have a system.
Yeah.
And if anything at all messes with my system, God help me. Things
Right.
just do not get done.
It's
I
like
might not
playing
wear
Jenga
socks
and
that day.
pulling out that last block, and the whole thing just clatters down to the floor.
Exactly. If I'm out of coffee that day, I will forget the oven. I might forget deodorant at that point. I might forget to brush my teeth because I'm like, oh man, I'm tripping over myself.
Right.
It's like going on a marathon and having all this stuff stacked on your back. You trip a little bit, things start falling off. You have to pick up the things. You don't know where you are, and before you know it, you're crying.
Right. Well, not only that, but then you're also feeling the pressure of, I need to get to whatever the next thing is,
Yeah,
especially if it's a morning routine. And
yeah,
so now, not only are you crying because all the everythings have fallen apart and you can't figure out where you are and what needs to be done and what doesn't need to be done, but now time is clicking down because you got to be somewhere in 15 minutes.
exactly, exactly. And everything, the entire day is thrown off. And then when you get into traffic, if something unexpected happens, that throws it off, and you're even more behind, and things just pile up and snowball out of control.
Right.
And then before you know it, you're having a meltdown in the office.
Right.
And this is the autistic experience. Welcome.
But
And
it isn't, it's mitigatable,
yes,
right? It's like there are some
with a
things that
good
we,
system.
with a good system, it's mitigatable, and a good system is going to be unique, right? So what's
Ooh,
my
ooh.
good system is not going to be the same thing as your good system, because like if you have somebody, like some of my clients really benefit more from menus than set routines of like doing things in an order. Like
Ooh.
here's the menu of things, And I know all of these things need to get done, but I don't necessarily need to do them in this order,
Yeah.
right? So for some people, they have the menu and they know they're going to do everything on the menu. For other people, things have to be done in the order, and for
The
their
order
nervous
with
system,
capitals.
what's that?
The order, capital T, capital O, TM, registered trademark
Exactly.
at the end. The
Exactly.
sacred order.
Exactly. The sacred order that must not be messed with.
Yeah.
Um, Often writing these things down and having them available as a reference somewhere, whether it's on your phone or posted somewhere on your wall or something like that, to go back to when you get disoriented,
Hmm.
can be really helpful, because then you're not having to rely on your internal executive function to be able to place you back into the routine or the menu. You can go to that external reference and take a moment to, take a breath, help your meat body calm down, um, and find yourself on the map so that you can then pick up and do the next thing.
I am a fan of magnets, and I
There
promise
you
this
go.
relates.
I love it.
Uh, if you go to a store and you get go to like Lowe's or Home Depot or someplace that has like vents, there's these magnetic not plates, but these magnetic little sheets that you
Mm-hmm.
can put over a vent to keep the vent from blowing out air.
Mm-hmm.
They're very, very easily, I just made up a word, easily cut up into pieces, right?
Right.
So if you have a whiteboard, if you
Mm-hmm.
time how long it takes to do a task on average, you can
Mm-hmm.
make out a day in all these 15-minute increments, and then cut a little strip to put in each of these things so that you know how long things will be and how you can possibly make the ideal schedule in order to get all
Mm-hmm.
these tasks maintained. In order to, I like the old. I watch a lot of TV, and I like watching TV executives on TV talk about TV programming. And they had
Mm-hmm.
these like the boards with the magnetic things. I was like, I
Nice.
can do that. So you
Nice.
can take these sheets of magnet, you can write on them, you can rearrange them to your heart's content, and find the ideal system, see what works, what doesn't, what flows into what flows into how, and also build in recovery time, build
Yes.
in chaos time,
Build in fudge
because
factor.
exactly, because in the event that the universe gravitates towards entropy, so your most perfect plan is going to be influenced by the dreaded chaos.
That's right.
How much time do you have to rebound from that? How much time do you need to rebound from that in order to get back on track to get the other tasks done for the day?
Right. Right.
So the question is, are you a bad person if you can't get it all done?
No, there's no
Oh,
such thing as the end to the to-do list. The to-do list is by definition endless. So
it is.
please forgive yourself and release yourself of any notion that you will ever have your to-do list finished.
I have discovered that autistic, ADHD, and ADHD people tend to gravitate towards the Herculean task, where it takes a lot of effort and a lot of reward to say, I did that major thing. Look at that thing I built that thing, versus the Sisyphean task, where you're pushing the boulder up the hill and hell for
Oh
eternity.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Great point. Yeah, because maintenance, oh God, maintenance is very hard to be convinced to do for me.
Yeah.
If you sit me down and you're like, especially if it's related to a special interest, if you're like,
Mhm.
hey Erin, I need a chatbot to help me respond to email, just as an example, because I like
Building bots as one
I
does,
like building I like building chatbots and chat GPT. So if you're like, hey Erin, help build me a chatbot that will help me answer my email, I'll be like, absolutely. I am so digging into this. I'm rocking out. I'm having like this great flow, energy, time, space, whatever. Um, if you're like, okay, Erin, vacuum the carpets every Monday. Uh,
Oh God.
First of all, I probably won't remember.
Yeah.
Second of all, sensory nightmare because sound and smell.
Yeah.
Third of all, I have to make sure that I arrange to have my dogs out of the house when that happens, which is um, its own thing, because my dogs go bonkers when the vacuum cleaner is going,
Same. Same
which
dog.
then drives me nuts. And both from a sound perspective and from an energetic perspective, because I'm very sensitive to I don't mean energy in like a woo woo way. I mean like, you know, if
Spoon theory sort of thing.
if someone is near me is panicking, my body will pick that up.
Yeah.
Which makes me a
Vibing.
good
Yes.
therapist, but it has a downside to it too,
Yeah.
right? So anyways, yeah. So and the whole like do it every Monday or
Yeah.
every Wednesday or whatever, like no, I can do it every day, but I can't like I doing it once a week is just hard. Doing
Yeah.
it once a
Yeah.
month is even harder. Doing it once a year is okay as long as I set a reminder in my phone and it doesn't take a lot of doing to do.
I need the reminder in the phone and the alarm to say,
Yeah.
hey, today you got to do this. Hey, you got to do this right now.
Right.
My personal hell is mowing the yard.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I chose this house specifically because there's a lot of trees out front and the grass does not grow very quickly at all. And in the back, the entire yard was pretty much wiped out by the previous owner's dogs.
Mm,
So instead of planting grass seed, I planted clover. So it would
nice.
never grow too high and I would never have to mow it. But there's one spot out there that has gone crazy and just gets like 3 feet tall. So I've got this like stuffed this like tarp to put over it. I'm going to put dirt on the tarp and I'm going to plant grass or clover on top of that to keep
Okay.
that from going so I don't have to do that. But
Great.
a while back, there were these sprigs that popped up in my front yard, and the local yard Nazi came by and said, "There's sprigs in your front yard. Oh God, why don't you have any pride in your yard?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." So, I had to go out and mow the yard, and every once in a while I'm like, is this enough for the neurotypicals around me so that I can evade detection for another day?
Yeah.
And this is
Yeah.
so this is a big thing about expectations put upon us versus our own needs. Because we do need to eat, we do need to sleep, we do need to shit. But there's a lot of expectations placed upon us that might not be very good for us. For instance, I don't buy any clothes that I can't throw into the laundry with all the other laundry. I don't
Mm-hmm.
understand why. I don't understand why color separation exists. I don't understand why fabric softener exists. I don't understand why things need to be on different temperatures. Everything needs to be thrown in there and not dissolve like it's made out of paper.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I only buy dishes that can go in the dishwasher because if I have to hand wash something, I just as soon cut my own fingers off.
Yeah. Sensory hell right there.
Exactly. That's not going to happen. So, this is a big thing about figuring out a life that works for you personally and customizing all this so you can get rid of all of the weird bullshit expectations placed upon you so you can live your own customized, happy, healthy life and
Yeah.
pass it on to your kids because your kids are going to get a lot of messages, especially in the world today. And I don't understand the TikToks and the I don't know Discords and yeah, our Discord person is going to be on at some point in the near future to talk about the Autistic Connections Discord. I don't understand how that works. Back in the day, I ran a Star Wars website and I put entries on there for every character in the original trilogy and the prequels until technology got past me and I'm like, no, I'm just going to be a hermit in a cave. I'm good.
Mm.
So I don't wear ties. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to have things dry cleaned. I don't understand that. So
I very rarely wear sleeves.
yeah, because again, I don't understand how people can wear full sleeves all day long without just dying. I every time I have to wear a coat, I want to rip it off Incredible Hulk style.
I also don't wear socks. I am a
No.
socks are from the devil autistic.
Yeah, yeah.
There are other autistic people who are like, I can't have my feet on the bare floor autistic, and
Yeah,
that's totally valid too. And you might be somewhere in between, dear listener. But the point is, get to know your own body,
yeah,
get
yeah,
to know your own sensory experience. Start from the assumption that the signals you're getting from your body are valid.
yeah,
Even if it's not the ultimate destination, it's true now.
yeah,
So take care of yourself now. And then if you want to try to shift, and if it's coming from you wanting to try to shift, not somebody else trying to shift you because it's more convenient for them, if you want to shift, then experiment. But if you're okay with being a shoes off, never don't touch my feet with those demons kind of autistic, go live your best barefoot life. I love
yeah.
you. I'm one of you.
Yeah, my house has no carpet and everything is hardwood floor, and I can sweep it up and walk comfortably on the floor without things touching my feet because
Exactly.
I maintain that. So let's talk about internalized ableism and the messages that
Oh,
people
yeah.
might acquire throughout their life that tell them that they have to live in a certain way, on a certain schedule, in a certain time, etc.
Well, that should be easier for you than it is, Matt. You should just try harder.
Have you tried just suffering? One of the things that it used to be in the old podcast store was a magnet slash pillow slash T-shirt that said, "Have you tried
Have you
just
tried just
suffering?"
suffering?
And it was one of our biggest sellers, and it's one thing that
Nice.
Cade, it runs through Cade's head often, and he's told me
Hmm.
about that. And I ask my clients that facetiously, and they're like,
Right.
"Yeah." And that's
Or
the
yeah, have
thing.
you tried working harder? That's the other one,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
because obviously laziness. The problem is that you haven't pulled yourself up by your bootstraps enough. Go pull
Yeah.
more on your bootstraps.
Hmm.
And that's the thing. It's just we live in a world of bizarre expectations, and I
Yeah.
don't, well, I mean, logically, I understand the progression from point A to point B in our history, but I don't understand the self criticism that is forced upon us for not living in a way that conforms. Because the conformity is maddening to me. I am not a conforming person.
What?
I
I'm
know.
shocked.
Grand shock as I sit here again,
I'm
also with no
stunned.
shoes and no socks, and sitting here in my cloth shorts in a room full of Transformers and Lego. And
Hmm.
yeah, my we will turn slightly to the side to see Optimus Prime, the Mandalorian,
Nice.
Bert and Ernie, and the Disney boat.
Also, I
Because
like your fireplace.
oh yes, yes, it also has a little. For you watching on YouTube, you can see this. If you're listening to us, imagine with your head a beautiful fireplace set next to
If
an
you have,
enormous dragon, and because add dragons to everything, no one's going to stop you. It's not illegal.
that's
And
right.
I have a sign there that says "Big Clock House" because
Nice.
of the big clock, which
Which
is
is
one of the
amazing.
reasons why my son was not enthusiastic about moving from our previous house until we found this house that had an enormous clock, and he loves clocks. So he was like, big clock house. And then he went
Hmm.
into full Peppa Pig mode and started giving a tour of the house as Peppa Pig because he's a Gestalt language processor and he used quotes from Peppa Pig. And this is the bath. And you can turn on the hot water and the cold water. And I was like, I think he likes it.
I love
So
that kid.
yeah, we chose Big Clock House
Nice. Nice.
because we live a life that works for us instead of working for the neurotypicals down the street. Because
Right.
you're the only person that's going to live your life in your meat body. You're the only person that's going to end up in your casket. You
Yeah.
must do things that work for you in whatever way it is.
Yeah.
And this is because again, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of coaches out there who claim that they have the answer, who will tell you the quote unquote right way to do things, the right way to make your lives. The oh God, what's that woman that advocates getting rid of your books?
Oh, crap. I just forgot her name.
Our listeners are
Marie Kondo.
this. Yes, yeah,
Marie
Marie
Kondo.
Kondo. Aaron heard your screams, listeners from the future. Well done. But yeah, now that Marie Kondo has kids, somebody asked her, "Are you still into that thing?" And she's like, "Yeah, I've been rethinking it." Because again,
It's
one way works, but it may not work for
it's
everybody.
easier to maintain your stuff when it's just you. I'm not saying easy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Easier.
there's fewer complicating factors when it's just one person,
Yeah.
right? The more
Yeah.
people you add to a household, particularly people who are still learning how to do all the things,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? It
Well,
just adds chaos.
yeah. After you pop out one or two chaos goblins, all of a sudden your whole system changes.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's one of those things. And I went through a period of time where I had all of my video game systems out, and they were all perfected. And then my child came along, and I was like, oh, he's going to want to stick a sandwich in this. That won't be good for anybody. So everything was put away. And now that
Right.
he's older again, I've got everything out, and I'm able to teach him all this stuff, and he's able to get
Hmm.
on the same page with it. And it's you have the system must change to meet the needs. You must evaluate these. You must evaluate the best way to do things. And again, we tend not to do stuff on autopilot because we are bogged down in the data. We must continually figure out what the best way to do these things are. The ways to are is are was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing too is sometimes you just have to settle for good enough.
Oh, yeah. The perfect is the enemy of the good. Tell us about that.
Right. Well, so whether it's prioritizing tasks or figuring things out, a lot of times those of us with really hyper connected minds and who have more of a web like thinking process,
Oh yeah.
we will see how all of the things, or not necessarily literally see, wow, um, we will see or conceptualize how things go together with great complexity, right? And so it can be hard to prioritize this thing versus that thing
Yeah.
because they're both important and they both impact this third thing, which is really important too. And
Yeah.
so that can be a place that we freeze up.
Yeah.
And so sometimes what we need to do is find a way, almost any kind of a way, to narrow the list and then just pick something,
Yeah.
right? Whether it's, hey, I'm in my home office right now, so I'm going to pick, cleaning up, tidying and getting rid of stuff that's sitting over on my rack that holds like my printer and crap, which is over there for those of you who are on the video.
Next to a dragon, if you have an imagination.
It's actually next to the sword you gave me.
Oh, nice. Yes, yes. Oh, very cool. I was wondering. Yeah.
Yes. That's the sword you gave me is right over there. And so it's like sometimes you just pick the thing that's accessible to you or nearest to you, and that's okay, right?
Yeah.
That's legit. Sometimes, like especially if you're talking about tasks, there may be urgency or deadlines that can help you sort. But sometimes you just got to pick one.
Yeah.
And a lot of times wherever you start is fine.
Yeah.
The
you can start in the middle.
Is that you start.
Yeah. Because anything is better than nothing. Baby steps are better than no steps at all.
Right. And baby steps are not necessarily just short. They're also wobbly as fuck.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
So, wobble your way towards something closer to what you want to do or be, right?
Yeah.
And that's cool. Try it out. Give it a shot. Think a little bit about how it worked. Try something a little different or try the same thing again. See if it replicates. I think one of the things that keeps us from building habits in the way that neurotypicals often think of it is that process complexity, right?
Yeah.
Because if we're nuancing things to such a degree that we're factoring this or that, or this other thing or this other thing, or like these 75 other things that someone who thinks about it in very broad strokes wouldn't be, conceptualizing.
Yeah.
That the person who thinks about it in very broad strokes can habituate and can, like, they'll see the patterns. Like, I'm trying to think, one of my couples that I was working with a while back, the autistic partner, I'm not going to say genders, the autistic partner wanted to talk about doing dishes after a party.
Yeah.
Right. And the allistic partner branched the conversation into doing dishes in general. And the autistic partner was like, why are you changing the topic?
Right. This is a very specific topic.
And the allistic partner was like, but it's both the dishes. And the autistic partner was really struggling to help the allistic partner. Obviously, that's where therapist comes in, right? To help them understand, like, yes, there is a through line that is dishes.
Right.
But the party scenario is a very different scenario than everyday dinner dishes.
Right. It's the difference between a Volkswagen and a monster truck. Both technically vehicles. Both will technically get you from point A to point B, but one is much bigger than the other.
Right, exactly. And they may need different fuel.
Right? Yes, very much so.
Monster truck probably drives on diesel.
Yeah. And that, I have become internally distressed just from the topic, because why wouldn't it be a different topic? Because yes, dishes after a party, that's a whole big thing. Oh my.
Right, exactly, because dishes after the party encompasses the demands of the party, right?
It does.
The demands on the autistic person in preparation for the party, the socialization during the party, any sensory aspects during the party, and then their capacity and fatigue or lack thereof after the party is over. There was one time before we knew I was autistic, that we had, where we had a group of, 10 people over for dinner. It was a community dinner thing that we were doing, and it was a really lovely evening, and my husband is very autistic friendly, in that he and I both think about details in very similar ways, but I'm the more detailed of the two of us, and so we put together a really lovely evening. Everybody had a great time. Food was fantastic. So many compliments, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the night, I just sat down and cried.
Yeah.
Because the pile of dishes, I literally could not figure out where to start.
Yeah.
I just cried.
Because
husband,
it is massively overwhelming.
My husband, who did food service in college, so he's like, oh, dishes, fine, whatever. He's like, honey, just sit. It's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have a glass of wine. I'm just gonna wash some dishes. It'll be okay. It's gonna be okay. And I was like, okay, thanks so much.
This is a benefit of a cross neurotype relationship where one person doesn't have the same sensitivities as the other. Yeah. So you got this overlap going on.
Mm-hmm.
So needs can be met. As a side topic, do you know who McKenna Grace is?
No.
McKenna Grace was a star on Young Sheldon. She played young Captain Marvel. She was also in the two most recent Ghostbusters movies. Okay. She's autistic as all get out. Nice. She also has a fledgling pop career, including such songs as "Do All My Friends Hate Me" and "Post-Party Meltdown."
Oh, nice.
Because again,
theme song for our times. Exactly,
yeah. Because she's singing to the experiences of the target audience here. Because this is the way. And
Yeah.
this is a big thing because being able to, and oh man, we are running low on time. We need to dedicate. Have we already talked about the whole cross neurotype relationships and translating things?
We talked about it a little bit, but not in detail, so we can do
Yeah,
that
because I think
coming
that
up
we really
soon.
need to do that because this
Yeah.
is the big thing about, finding your own needs and finding a way to communicate that to your partner. Again, in very explicit terms and negotiation along going with the whole kink thing,
Yeah.
being able to specifically talk about all these things.
Yeah.
It's like telling somebody what you expect out of a clean room, because otherwise you get into the weeds about dishes versus party dishes, and everybody's mad, everybody's upset, things go awry, and nobody's happy.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
But I think that we'll call it for here, and then
Yep.
next time we can start talking about that. If not, we've got lots of topics on the radar, so
Yeah.
we'll be talking to you all very soon about more topics in the future. Come back and join us, and we will be here.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good one.